Hello, welcome to the November meeting for Save Federal Taxes Legally. I want to say thank you for coming. I hope you have pen and paper and your cell phone because you might want to take some pictures. We're going to start off with 3 simple questions. Just put yes or no in into the chat. First question, do you want to save a legacy for your family year after year, generation after generation? Please put yes or no in the chat. Question number 2, do you want to save federal taxes year after year, generation after generation? Again, just put a yes or no, or maybe a question mark into the chat. Question number 3, have you ever heard of the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Carnegies, and the Kennedys? If you've heard of any of those families, please put yes or no into the chat. Again, I hope you have pen and paper and have your cell phone because I'm going to show you a few slides. My name is Sally Gimmon. I am the owner of thetrustisyou.com and a podcast with 27 episodes, Stop Paying Capital Gains Now, with an exclamation mark. What I'm going to teach you today is legal, copywritten, in the IRS Tax Code 643B. I like Bravo. This has been around. The copywritten is 72 years old. There are over 70,000 trusts that have never been audited. So get ready. For the next 30 minutes, I'm going to tell you what it is, and then we'll open it up for Q&A. So the Spendthrift Trust, I call that Spendthrift Trust with the full name. Maybe you want to write this down, maybe you don't. It's not, but I'll go over everything. It's irrevocable, complex, discretionary, non-grantor Spendthrift Trust. So irrevocable, generation to generation to generation. The Rockefellers, their trust is called the Office. It's 7 generations old, and there are almost 400 people under the same EIN or employee identification number. That's their tax ID number, and they all are different bank accounts, so they don't commingle their money. So irrevocable. Complex. This trust can hold money day to day, week to week, year to year, decade to decade. 97% of the trusts sold every year in the United States are what my mom and dad had and what Susie Orman talks about on PBS television. The family trust. The only thing the family trust does is avoid going through probate, and then it dissolves. I'm dealing with this with my parents' account right now. This trust is not your mom and dad's account. This trust is going to go from generation to generation and be able to hold money at all times. Irrevocable, complex, discretionary. Whoever is a trustee or trustees can make the rules for the beneficiaries. I personally don't have any children, but I have nieces and nephews. If I decide to leave $10 to all my nieces and nephews, and one niece gets $1 million, they can't contest that in court because I'm the trustee, and I have a successor trustee who will take over. So again, the trustee gets to make the rules. Irrevocable, complex, discretionary, non-grantor. All these 5 elements are super important. That every trust needs to have these. So if you're talking to somebody else, please ask them this. Non-grantor. For 10 minutes, someone who is not a beneficiary will sign up for the trust and sign away from the trust when you start this. They are going to become the settler, the person who starts the trust, and the trustee for 10 minutes. That's it. You will need their social security number, and this is not a speed bump. If you cannot find someone to do this for you, either myself or another person from the law firm will do this for you free of charge. We've done this for many clients. It is not a speed bump. Your trust is going to be based in Texas because that's where the law firm is located. But I've moved 4 times since starting my trust 3 years ago. The law firm knows where I am, but it's always in Texas. So irrevocable, complex, discretionary, non-grantor, and then the 5th element, spendthrift. This has been in front of the United States Supreme Court 2 different occasions. Both times the Supreme Court has honored the contract with the Spendthrift Trust. This is as legal can be. I want to teach as many U.S. business owners, 1099 income earners, and investors how to save federal taxes legally. Again, I have a ton of information to send you if you ever want to contact me. Now, there are 5 different trusts. I'm going to only talk about 2 of the main trusts. The business trust for 1099 income earners and business owners, and the beneficial trust for any and all investors. There are several others out there. They're all under the umbrella of the Spendthrift Trust. With the Spendthrift Trust, it's going to save you in 4 extremely important ways. Number 1, everyone knows federal taxes. Everybody wants to save federal taxes. To give you a little bit of history, the current U.S. tax code went into effect February of 1913 and was only supposed to be around for 6 years. At that time, the Barron families, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Carnegies, and the Kennedys put this into the tax code way up 643B. I'm not making fun of accountants or CPAs. I'm dyslexic. I transpose numbers. Most accountants, CPAs work in the 300, 400 level and file 1040 tax returns. With any of the Spendthrift Trusts, you're going to file a 1041 tax return. Now, this is contract law that has come from England way back when King Henry VIII got in trouble for chopping off his wives' heads. He started the Church of England. Hey, murder a few ladies, start a church. Go figure. So he went to go tax the lords and ladies of England. They went further back to the Magna Carta and said, no, 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 King Henry VIII, you can't do this. It came over to the colonies while we were a colony of England. The law firm I work on behalf of, the law firm 72 years old, they inherited a trust that turned 350 years old in 2023. This is as legal can be. I can't keep explaining this. So with this trust, you're going to save federal taxes. You're going to keep your information private. If you have an LLC, an S Corp, or a C Corp, that's statutory law. It's different in every single state. I now live in North Carolina, and I report, if I wanted an LLC, I would go to the Secretary of State. My 6 LLCs I shut down in Arizona, that went to the Corporation Commission of Arizona. I can write a letter to any Secretary of State or Corporation Commission, say, tell me about this LLC. I do have to include a stamped envelope, and they will send me back your name, your address, your phone number, and your documents. It's not private. This trust, they won't know what you own, where you own it, how much you own of it, or what you're doing with it. It's an amazing thing. So save federal taxes, keep your information private. Number 3, I can't stop you from being sued, but you will pay no judgments if you are sued. The old adage from Nelson Rockefeller, own nothing, control everything. You as an individual have nothing to your name. Everything's in the trust. I don't know how old you are, but if you remember, O.J. Simpson got acquitted for his killing his wife and Ron Goldman. The Goldman family sued O.J., the individual, for $135 million. That lawsuit went away as frivolous because O.J. was broke. All his football memorabilia, his commercials, his being an airplane. I don't know how many times I've seen that movie. All of that is in his Spendthrift Trust. Well, silly OJ went to jail when he broke into a Las Vegas hotel room several years ago. OJ, the individual, went to jail. It did not affect what was in his Spendthrift Trust. He now still golfs 3 times a week, according to a friend of mine down in Florida. I have not seen OJ golf. I don't golf. So irrevocable, it's going to save you federal taxes. Keep your information 100% private. You'll pay no judgments if you get sued. And then the 4th element, very important. I'm going to share my screen. If you don't know about the 2024 Corporate Transparency Act that is going to affect January 1st from the Department of Treasury, this is an ugly bill. If you are an established LLC doing business as or a corporation, you have until January 1st of 2025 to do the paperwork for the Department of Treasury. If you start a new LLC doing business as or a corporation, let's say January 15th, you have 30 days to do the paperwork or be fined $10,000 or 2 years in jail, or both combined together. Yikes. Now, if you have any of the Spendthrift Trusts, you are exempt from doing this. I have 2 documents, one from the Financial Crimes Network, both of them are from the Financial Crimes Network, that explains with the Spendthrift Trust, we are exempt from doing, any client is exempt from doing this paperwork yearly because the trust is number 19 of the exemptions. Now, if you mess up, I shut down 6 of my LLCs, but when I read the paperwork, my first LLC that I started was with a law firm back in 2018. I have to call the law firm, if I still have that LLC, I have to call the law firm and find out the name of the paralegal who worked on the case, or I could be charged $500 a day. Talk about legwork. I don't want to do it. I shut down those LLCs, so I'm not going to be charged that. Now, what's going to happen, all banks and credit unions only have to report a suspicious account to the Financial Crimes Network. This is a part of the Department of Treasury. The Financial Crimes Network will investigate. If they think it's money laundering and they seize the assets and sell it on the open market, the bank will make at least 35%. I'm a real estate investor. I wholesale and buy property and everything else, so I have money coming in and out of my accounts all the time. True story. The law firm is based in Texas. One of the trust attorneys belongs to a church, and he knows the senior vice president of Citibank also belongs to his church. In October, he went up after church. He went up to the senior vice president of Citibank and said, "What do you know about the Corporate Transparency Act?" The vice president said this in an open place. We are gearing up to send 1,000 accounts a week, Citibank, 1,000 accounts a week for the Financial Crimes Network to investigate, because all that money is going to go to Citibank's bottom line and pay out to shareholders. Great for the shareholders, lousy for any small business person in the United States. Again, I want to tell you, this is coming out. You all need to know about this. If you want to not avoid doing that paperwork, you can always start the Spendthrift Trust. And if you would like the 2 articles from the Financial Crimes Network, please email me at info@thetrustisisyou.com. I will share that information because everyone should know about this information. So again, the trust is legal, copywritten in the IRS Tax Code 643B. And the 4 ways it's going to save you is federal taxes, year after year, generation after generation, and state income taxes if you get everything into the trust. If you're in a high tax state like New York, Illinois, or California, you could be saving money there too. Number 2, keep your information completely private. Number 3, you will pay no judgments if you're sued. And number 4, you won't do the 2024 Corporate Transparency Act paperwork from the Department of Treasury. Beautiful thing. So let me talk about business trusts. The business trust is for any business owner, U.S. business owner, or 1099 income earner. I can legally say you will save at least 70% on your taxes before deductibles. My clients are saving between 90 to 95% on their federal taxes every year. I'm not crowing, but back in 2022, I saved 92% on my 3 online businesses. I only paid 8% in federal taxes. I'm in North Carolina, and I did not file North Carolina taxes because North Carolina does not know I exist here. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So let me share this with you. This is an actual client of mine. I love his pizza parlor. Back in February of 2023, I took my friend door knocking to teach her how to be a real estate investor. It was a cold Saturday at 2:30 in the afternoon. We walked into the pizzeria to get their white pizza. They make the best New York style white pizza. I've never had it before. I love it. So we sat there, we chit-chatted for about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. As we got up to leave, Roberto, the owner of the pizzeria, asked me for my business card. A week later, I met Roberto and his wife, Marianne, at the pizzeria to talk to him about saving taxes. They were doing their 2022 taxes. In 2022, 2 pizzerias, they were making about $15,000 per month for $180,000 a year. They filed jointly, and they're at 22% tax rate. There are 7 ways to file your taxes, from 10% to 35%, 7 different layers, and 4 ways to file your taxes. Single, head of household, married jointly, or married separately. They knew when we were looking at what they were doing on their taxes. I took them out to NerdWallet just to show them the formula. They would pay $30,215 in federal taxes. Again, I explained at least 70%, and then you can get up to 90 to 95%. Roberto's like, no, that's icing on the cake. Show me at 70%. So $30,215 times 70%, they are going to save at least $21,150 every single year. Their plans in 2024, full year saving taxes, they're going to open a 3rd location. And in 2025, they're going to open a 4th location. They're going to work until 2035 and then retire, leave 2 pizzerias to 1 child, 2 pizzerias to another child. The children will not pay inheritance tax, and the children will also save 1099 income year after year, decade after decade, generation after generation. It's an amazing thing. I'm just going to show you, while I'm sharing my screen, I'm just going to show you some of my clients different clients who are saving 1099 income. The real estate agent, she started the trust in August, and she sold a house August 31st, 2023. And on that one house that she sold, she's saving $3,900. The business coach, he is doing group coaching and individual coaching. He's saving $58,000. The Etsy store owner, they're reselling earrings. I don't know if you can see my earrings, or resell earrings worldwide. they're going to save over $13,000. This is all at 70%. This is 70% before their deductibles, just to give you an idea. The gentleman with the 4 sub shops, he's in Ohio. The 4 sub shops, he's going to save over $31,000 a year. The real estate broker, he has 12 agents under him. He actually did, we did a Zoom for his real estate agents to show them how they too can be saving money. But the real estate broker is going to save over $46,000 a year. The Amazon store owner, this is a fun story. She got laid off in April of 2020 because of COVID. She woke up early the next morning. She's a single mom of 3 kids. She was sitting there drinking her coffee going, what the heck am I going to do? She started an Amazon store selling dog chew toys. She has 2 dogs. Her dogs go through the dog chew toys. Didn't know there was so much money in this, but in July, August, September, she sold over $20,000 of dog chew toys worldwide. And so we just extrapolated, saying if it was a full year, she's going to save almost $43,000. She started crying while we were on the phone, while we were on Zoom, because that money is going to go to her 3 children so they can go to college. She didn't get to go to college. There was no money in her family, and she wants her children to have options. The commercial lighting gentleman, he sells commercial lighting in Chicago. He say this is including his Illinois state taxes at 4.95% and his federal taxes. He tells me he only works 3 days a week because he was sick of paying taxes. Now he's going to start working 5 days a week, so that he's going to save even more. And then the HVAC owner, I work with business brokers. He bought 12 trucks in Georgia, and this is how much he's going to be saving. Again, this is just with the business trust for 1099 income earners. Please put in chat what you would be doing if you were going to save 3 figures, 4 figures, 5 figures, or 6 figures in 1099 income. Would you pay off your mortgage? Would you buy a new car? Would you help your children pay off their student loans? Would you start a new business? Again, with this trust, you will save all this money in taxes. It's an amazing thing. Now, my personal story. I am a real estate investor. Back in October of 2018, my oldest nephew got married in Charlotte, North Carolina. I was living in Phoenix. My mom and dad were living in Goodyear, Arizona, 20 miles west of Phoenix. They drove from Goodyear, Arizona to Charlotte. My mom got dehydrated along the way, and she got septic to the blood poisoning. She was on a ventilator for 13 months, in a hospital for 15 months. Thank God she got better, but this all was happening very quickly. At the time, 2018, I was working full-time as a Medicare broker. Worst job in the world. People turning 65, open enrollment. People are broke. Unfortunately, they're so broke. So I worked until 8 o'clock Friday night, drove myself to Sky Harbor Airport, did a red eye to Charlotte. My other nephew picked me up, family tradition. We would go off to IHOP for breakfast. Then we went to the hospital to see my mom. We walked into my mom's hospital room, and the priest was giving my mom last rites. I knew my mom was sick. I didn't know she was that sick. It was a surreal day. I went to my brother and sister-in-law's house, took a shower, went to a wedding, had a great time. Next day, Sunday, we had lunch. I went back to see my mom, kind of flight back to Phoenix because I had to be at work 6 o'clock in the morning, Monday after the wedding. I was going out to my mom and dad's house twice a week. My parents had been planned to only be gone for 2 weeks. My dad stayed in the Charlotte area for 9 months, visiting my mom every day in the hospital. When my mom got better, she was still on the ventilator, but they flew her back to Arizona, back to Phoenix. I was going out to the house twice a week to do the mail. In the first weekend of December, there was a letter from CMS, Centers for Medicare Systems, that was 27 pages thick. When I opened it up, it was my mom's Medicare statement for the first month in the hospital, $172,000. Thank God my dad was a retired officer in the military. My mom and dad had TRICARE for life. My mom was getting the best care possible. I'm standing in my middle of my parents' kitchen. I'm $184,000 in debt. I have a mortgage, I have student loans, I have credit card debt, and 2 car payments. True story. On my way to work one morning, 7:30 in the morning, going Indian School Road, a major east-west road. I was the second car through on a green light. A guy who was drunk, high, and no insurance ran the red light, T-boned my car on the passenger side. I wasn't injured, but my car was 3 weeks old, brand new car, and I didn't have gap insurance. Silly Sally. I'm an insurance agent. I should have had gap insurance. So I had to buy a used car, and I had 2 car payments. Right there in my parents' kitchen, I called my friend Glenn and said, you said I went to your real estate meeting, a real estate meeting in August. I need to change my life, change it today. He's like, Sally, next Saturday, we're having a Christmas party. Bring a $5 gift and something to eat and meet the other real estate investors. I'm like, okay, I'll go to a party. I'll meet you and Rhonda there. And he's like, oh, well, we're going to be late. We have a Christmas pageant. I don't know about y'all, but going into a Christmas party where you know nobody, a little bit scary, but I did it and it was the best decision of my life. I became a real estate investor. So now I want to show you the slide about what the beneficial trust is going to cover for you. The beneficial trust is for any and all investors. It's going to take care of short-term and long-term capital gains, interest income, dividend income, rental income, and royalties. Royalties are a little bit less, and a year or more, when you own something for a year or more, long-term capital gains are 15 or 20% with that. So again, that's just to show you what the beneficial trust will do for any and everybody who's an investor. So more information to my story. In 2019, I'm still working as a Medicare broker, hate it, and I wholesaled 7 bank-owned properties nationwide. My real estate group, they're like, way to go, Sally, I'm doing great. When I went to go do my taxes for 2019, April 2020, I found out I owed too much in capital gains. Hence the title of my podcast, Stop Paying Capital Gains Now. I had to get on a payment plan with the IRS, and I thought I had a big red L on my forehead saying I'm a loser. So in July of 2020, let me share this, I took down the deal of the week. This is a bank-owned reverse mortgage property in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. I paid $20,000 for the contract. My name's not going on the contract until it goes to auction, and then it would become mine. Well, July of 2020 is the middle of COVID. All the courts and auction houses are shut down. I had to wait 13 months. I knew that $20,000 to the $50,000, that $30,000 spread in between, with my tax rate at 24%, I would have to pay $7,100 in short-term capital gains April 15th, the year after this would go into effect. In my national real estate group, I'm in the Phoenix office. In my national real estate group, a gentleman named Garrett Gunderson wrote a book called What the Rockefellers Do. I had a paperback copy of that book, and I started scouring it, and I researched the Spendthrift Trust, just like the Rockefellers have. That's why the third question was, do you know these rich families? I found the private law firm in Texas that has a 72-year-old copyright on the trust. It's called the Benson Financial Trust. The law firm, it's the grandson who now runs it. I became a client of theirs, and I asked to become a distributor of theirs because I wanted to teach in my real estate group how to save capital gains, interest income, rental income, and keep your information private and pay no judgments. So this property went to auction. I put this property into the trust September of 2020. That's when I started my trust. It didn't go to auction until August 21st. I had to do 2 simple bill of sales, one from my LLC to me personally, and then a second bill of sale from me personally to the trust. I got them notarized. I gave $10 to Jose at the bank, and then he gave it back to me to noted that there was consideration. I faxed both bill of sales to the attorney in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm still in Phoenix. The only thing he asked for was the first page of my trust. I sent that to him. And on September 28th of 2021, that property was sold for $64,326. Yay, Sally. I made over $44,000 on one transaction without lifting a hammer. This is the way I invest. Even better, I did not pay $10,368.24 on my 2021 taxes, April 15th of 2022. That was the first property in the trust. I started in September of 2020. I'm not crowing, but I've done 29 more wholesale deals since then. I have 12 notes that pay me. I'm the bank. They pay me their mortgage, so that's interest income. And now I have 4 rentals. That's rental income. And my friend does my options investing, and I have 3 online businesses. Since September of 2020, with the business trust and the beneficial trust, I have saved $177,000 at least in the last 3 years. I'm not trying to crow. I'm just telling you how I'm using the trust and how you too can use this trust. It's a super, this trust is amazing. Now, I do work with business brokers. I told you about selling a business. You're going to pay 15% or 20% when you sell a business. This next story, the son, his name's Jack. He saw my TikTok video December of 2022. He's like, hey, my parents are selling a restaurant. What can you do to help them? We had to get his parents on the phone. His dad, Jim, had never been on Zoom before, so that was a little bit of a thing to deal with. We knew they were selling a 42-year-old Kentucky restaurant for $3 million. I found out Jim and his two brothers built this restaurant 42 years ago when Jim came back from Vietnam. Jim was a cook. His wife was running the restaurant because it started at zero. They're selling it for $3 million, as is all the cutlery, the food, the recipes, everything else. I explained to Jim that April 15th, 2024, they're going to pay 15% or $460,000 to the federal government, or at 20%, they would pay $600,000 to the federal government. I'm not a CPA, but this is the rules and everything. Jim's like, how do I stop this? I found out Jim and his wife Jennifer were working with a business broker. His name is Sam. I had to contact Sam to explain to him what was going on. Jim and Jennifer started the trust in March. They got the EIN number, they got the new bank account, but they didn't pay for the trust until April 3rd when they got paid for selling the restaurant. They got to save either $460,000 or $600,000. On April 30th, my phone rang, unlisted number from Kentucky. I'm like, oh no, something's going wrong with the sale of the business. It was his wife, Jennifer, calling me, crying happy tears. She knew about the trust. She knew they were going to save capital gains. She didn't know how much they were going to save in capital gains. They're moving to Florida because their daughter with the 3 grandchildren are there. Her 2 sons are still in Kentucky, no, not married. So ladies, if you're looking for a single guy, I know some people, but they're moving to Florida. She wants to contact David of My Lottery Dream House. It's an A&E program. I've never seen it. So she was telling me about this. And she wants him to find them a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo between $460,000 to $600,000. And she's so excited. I mean, Jim is 69. Jennifer is 64. This is going to change their retirement. 6 figures changing their retirement, only for the better. I love my job. Going back to Sam, the business broker who was in charge of that restaurant, he contacted the gentleman who was buying the restaurant. It was going to be his 7th restaurant, and he's paying too much in 1099 income. He started the business trust. Sam, the business broker, made $600. I sent him the money by PayPal or by Zelle or by Cash App, wire, or check. Sam likes to get it by PayPal. Sam has gone back to all his people who he sold business to. One person bought a bakery. One person bought 2 car washes. Another person bought a wine emporium place. They all got business trusts. Sam has made money off of that. It's an amazing thing. I get to help people save money year after year, generation after generation. Again, put in chat your biggest takeaways on what you're doing, what you have learned so far on my Zoom. Now, the next thing I want to talk about, my 2 biggest complaints from people are it costs money and the time. The next slide is an actual client of mine, Kelly. He retired. He's a retired preacher from New Hampshire, retired in Arizona. On Super Bowl Sunday, February 7th, 2021, he went to door knock on the house for a 4th time. He didn't watch Tom Brady win his 7th Super Bowl with Tampa Bay. Shame on him. He caught the grown daughter. The father had passed away. The grown daughter was just about to drive back to LA at night because she had an older Honda with no air conditioning. They stopped the auction. He was able to get the father's 2020 vehicle paid off and give it to the daughter and some money, and he wholesaled the house and made $50,000 in profit. He knew his tax rate. He sat in on my mastermind at least 3 times. He knew his tax rate at 22%. He would owe $11,000 in capital gains April 15th, 2022. He got on a payment plan just like I did, and he started Ubering 6 nights a week. Didn't Uber on Sundays to pay the $960 he owed to the federal government every single month. Unfortunately, in September of 2022, his wife fell down and broke her hip. She was bedridden, and he couldn't go Ubering until one of his grown children came to stay with his wife so he could go out and pay what he owed to the federal government. He now has a trust. He's done 5 more wholesale deals since then. Just as send this out there, if he made $50,000 on each wholesale deal, he has saved $55,000 so far. I'm not sure how much he's making on each one of his wholesale deals. I love my job. I love what I do. What I want to do is help as many U.S. business owners, 1099 income earners, and investors know about the Spendthrift Trust and start saving taxes. Now, my speaking coach said I should put this tile into here. I started this because of my mom. My mom was always very supportive of myself. She grew up in very rural Ireland. My grandfather died December of 1939, just before World War II started. My mom did not know electricity until she left Ireland to go to London to become a midwife when she was 16 years old. Going back to PBS, if you have seen The Call of a Midwife, my mom was there 10 years later. My mom was only 5'2". I can palm a basketball with my hands. Her fingers were 1.5 inches longer than my fingers, and she wore size 9 shoes. I'm 5'10". My younger brother's 6'4". I wear size 11.5 shoes. My mom grew up food insecure in Ireland. When I was born in Phoenix, she was appalled that she learned that children in Arizona were going to bed hungry. She would walk to St. Mary's Food Bank twice a week to volunteer because she felt no child should ever go to hungry or be food insecure in the United States. For every trust I sell, I donate $100 in my mom's name to St. Mary's Food Bank as part of Feeding America. She always supported me. She kept with me. I promised her I would never foreclose on any house because she lost her house when she was 6 years old. When one of my houses stopped paying me during COVID, she knew about this and she's like, sue those people, take over the house. So this is why I donate with her. Now, I redid this slide deck because there was a lot going on my presentation. So I want to put this slide deck in there so you can take a picture of it. To get a 30-minute tax breakthrough session with me, you'll go out to www.thetrustisyou.com, scheduling. Again, when we are in a tax breakthrough session, I'm going to take you out to NerdWallet, show you the formula, give you what 70% and show you what 90%. I will send you 3 articles from Forbes magazine. I will send you 2 pages of case law to give to your business to your financial planner or to your CPA. And I will also give you a copy of the book that I read. It's now called What Billionaires Do. If you decide to work with myself in the law firm, you're going to have an entire team working with you to transition from an LLC, S Corp, or C Corp into the trust, explain how things are done, be there to answer your questions. Also, when you start with the trust, I will give you a formula on how to start building business credit with Dun & Bradstreet with the new EIN number so you can get business credit there. If you want to be an affiliate and tell other people, hey, talk to Sally, save federal taxes, just go out to www.thetrustisyou.com/affiliate and you will get your own webpage. And with my system that I have, anyone you send that will be tagged to you. Quite honestly, I just had a gentleman who was selling 2 car washes contact me in March. He sold them October 31st. When he contacted me, I knew it came through one of my business brokers. I sent him an email. He goes, oh, I know about what's happening here. When we sold them on October 31st, I sent the business broker $600 and he's like, I'll send you more clients. My name is Sally Gimmon. I am the owner of thetrustisyou.com. I work on behalf of a law firm that has a 72-year-old copywritten thing on the Benson Financial Trust. None of the trusts have ever been audited. True story, one of the trusts was examined by an IRS agent. He went down to the law firm in Texas, went into the boardroom, looked at the trust for about 15, 20 minutes, came out and approved it. This is legal, it's copywritten, and it's the IRS Tax Code. If I can help you save federal taxes, please reach out to me. I'm here to help. Thank you for watching my November meeting. I hope you have a beautiful Thanksgiving and have fun with your family. Take care.